The universe ended on a Tuesday, which annoyed Commander Vrax immensely, because he had just brewed his favorite sludge tea when the human fleet began collapsing like terrified dominoes. One moment, Earth's armada stretched proudly across the void. The next, it folded into a panicked retreat so fast that even the aliens watching felt second-hand embarrassment. Vrax let out a laugh that echoed through the control deck, a deep rattling sound that made junior officers wonder whether he was amused or choking. Either way, the humans were running, and nothing delighted the Dominion more than a good old-fashioned human stampede. Across the battlefield, Earth's ships scrambled in uneven arcs, engines flaring as frantic captains yelled over chaotic calms. Gravity disruptors had sliced through half their formation, turning star cruisers into flaming spirals of regret. Officers at Earth Command tried desperately to reorganize the retreating fleet, but panic spread faster than orders. The loss stung deeper because they had believed today would be different. Today was supposed to be their big stand, their heroic pushback. Instead, they were becoming a cosmic punchline, and the Vrax Dominion laughed until consoles shook. Inside Earth's flagship, Admiral Rowan pressed her palms against the holodable. Her voice cracked when she shouted for status updates, but her crew could give her only bad news wrapped in worse news. The retreat was unavoidable. The Dominion outgunned them, outmaneuvered them, and honestly, outenjoyed their own destruction. A junior officer tried to lighten the mood by announcing they technically had not lost every ship yet. Rowan simply stared at him until he quietly pretended to die under his desk. Just as she prepared to issue the surrender-coded fallback route, an old forgotten icon blinked on her display. A heavily encrypted channel, long deactivated, sputtered back to life. The bridge fell silent. Many had seen that icon only in dusty training manuals, always accompanied by warnings and rumors no one had dared confirm. Rowan hesitated, then opened the channel. A single voice came through. Calm. Unhurried. Almost bored. This is Callsign Nightfall. Permission to engage denied. Engaging anyway. For a few seconds, no one breathed. Some officers turned pale. Others whispered that the stories could not be real. And yet, before disbelief could settle, the tactical screen exploded with motion as an unidentified object streaked across the battlefield. In less than a heartbeat, 3 Dominion cruisers split open as if sliced by invisible blades. Silence fell over both fleets. Even Commander Vrax's laughter died mid-choke. Rowan felt her heart pound as she whispered the name the universe had not dared speak in a decade. Nightfall. Across the void, Dominion scanners scrambled for answers. The readings made no sense. The object moved faster than their instruments could track. Every alien on the flagship began to realize something was deeply wrong. The humans were not supposed to have a monster of their own. But they did. And he had just arrived. For a long moment after Nightfall's unmistakable voice echoed through the comms, Admiral Rowan simply stared at the tactical screen, half expecting it to correct itself and label the new arrival as a friendly meteor with attitude issues. The bridge crew shifted nervously, whispering theories that ranged from top-secret resurrection programs to Nightfall being an angry ghost with upgraded hobbies. No one dared say the simplest truth aloud: he should not be alive. The last time humanity had seen Captain Ralston Ward, his ship had vanished inside the collapsing mass of the Titanus anomaly, a swirling nightmare of gravity that devoured anything foolish enough to fly too close. Everyone had mourned him, honored him, and then quietly pretended not to fear the fact that even the anomaly seemed to spit him out in nightmares and conspiracy threads. Memories flickered through Rowan's mind. Nightfall had never been a typical pilot. While others used formulas and protocols, he used instinct bordering on madness. He once threaded a cruiser through asteroid debris so tight that half the fleet filed psychological reports afterward, convinced they had witnessed sorcery. His ship, the Umbral Seraph, had been experimental, unpredictable, and about as stable as Nightfall's sense of humor. When both disappeared in the Titanus incident, the galaxy had breathed a collective sigh of relief and sorrow. The most dangerous protector of Earth was gone. Or perhaps simply somewhere no one could follow. Now, his ship reappeared like a myth returning with a grudge. The readings on the screen made no physical sense. Its energy signature fluctuated in impossible patterns, cycling through frequencies Earth engineers could not identify. It glowed with an aura that looked less like a machine and more like something alive. A bewildered technician muttered a small prayer to the laws of physics, which clearly had decided to take the day off. Nightfall's voice returned, crackling through every channel with the same unsettling calmness. Earth Command, stop retreating. I need your ships exactly where they are. The bridge erupted with protests. Rowan tried to respond, only for Nightfall to cut her off. Do not argue with me. You will not win. I am busy. In the Dominion flagship, the alien commanders struggled to understand what they were witnessing. Their screens flickered. Their targeting systems glitched. Their captain of analytics confidently declared that the human ship was either a myth, a malfunction, or a hallucination produced by contaminated sludge tea. Commander Vrax slapped him with a tail fin for suggesting the tea could ever be at fault. Meanwhile, Rowan regained enough composure to switch to a private line. Nightfall, she whispered, trying to steady her voice. If you survived Titanus, we need to know what you found in there. There was a moment of silence, broken only by distant static. When he spoke again, his tone shifted, holding something heavier, stranger. Later, Admiral. For now, keep your people alive. And then his ship vanished from sensors altogether, moving faster than Earth could understand and far beyond what the Dominion could laugh at. The sudden disappearance of Nightfall's ship left the battlefield in a state of suspended disbelief. Earth's fleet hung uncertainly between retreat and chaos, like a herd of animals unsure whether to run or pretend they were already running. Admiral Rowan felt her pulse hammering in her ears as she opened every channel, desperately seeking a direction. Her officers hesitated, gripping consoles and exchanging wide-eyed glances. Nightfall had ordered them to stop retreating, but stopping in front of the Dominion felt like volunteering for instant annihilation. Rowan inhaled shakily and commanded the fleet to hold position. The orders spread through the ranks, greeted with a bizarre mix of confusion and reluctant hope. Some captains argued. Others prayed. A few simply assumed Rowan had suffered a tactical-induced panic and decided to follow her anyway because they had nothing better to do. Even so, the retreat slowed, ships stabilizing into shaky formations. Just as the Dominion prepared to exploit this hesitation, Nightfall's voice crackled back into every comm like an impatient parent addressing a group of hyperactive toddlers. Good, you stopped. Try not to die for the next minute. It would complicate my math. With impeccable timing, his ship reappeared in a blur of distortion, streaking between Dominion vessels so quickly that alien pilots screamed in several incompatible dialects. Gravitational ripples followed him, warping space in shimmering waves that made enemy targeting systems malfunction. A Dominion cruiser fired wildly, its beams bending away as if embarrassed for the shooter. Then Nightfall executed something no human had ever attempted, and no alien had ever imagined. His ship fractured into dozens of perfect copies, each moving with chaotic precision. To the Dominion it looked like humanity had suddenly discovered mass cloning of nightmare-level pilots. Their commanders shouted contradictory orders, some demanding fire, others demanding retreat, a few demanding immediate resignation. The clone images multiplied, scattering across the battlefield in shimmering arcs. Earth officers stared, jaws slack, as their tactical screens filled with countless ghost signatures. This has to be illegal, muttered a stunned lieutenant. Rowan had no answer. Illegal did not even begin to cover it. Nightfall's maneuver created a storm of illusions, each one mimicking the energy signature of a human ship. The Dominion fleet panicked, firing desperately at the false images. Beams of energy sliced through empty vacuum, ammunition burning faster than Vrax could shout curses. Every missed shot only increased their confusion. Their formation fell apart, tangled in their own panic. Amid the chaos, Nightfall relayed precise attack coordinates to Earth fleets. His voice was calm, almost bored, as if orchestrating a symphony rather than a battle. Move now. Left flank 30 degrees. Fire on my mark. And please, someone remind the cruiser Horizon that brakes exist. Earth's fleet surged forward with renewed strength. For the first time in hours, they were not prey. They were predators riding the momentum of a miracle. But as the Dominion lines buckled, something unexpected happened. Far beyond the battlefield, dormant colonies that had spent decades ignoring Earth intercepted Nightfall's broadcast. And for reasons ranging from curiosity to pride to sheer annoyance, they began preparing to join the fight. Dominion war rooms were built for intimidation, not panic, yet panic now poured through them like a contagious plague. The illusion swarm created by Nightfall continued to multiply, each false signature taunting the Vrax with impossible unpredictability. Alarms blared. Officers shouted. The tactical deck flickered between contradictory readings that made the analytics captain whimper something about needing a career change. Commander Vrax paced in frantic circles, his tail slapping consoles that had long since stopped giving useful information. The humans should have been broken by now, reduced to debris and melodramatic distress signals. Instead, they were advancing with absurd confidence. Vrax slammed a clawed hand against the tactical display. Enough illusions. Find the real one. The officers nodded, but their voices trembled as they admitted they could not. Every attempt to identify Nightfall's true ship ended in system crashes, corrupted data, or readings so irrational that one technician insisted Nightfall did not have a ship at all and was simply sprinting through space at incredible speeds. Vrax threw him out of the command circle before anyone could ask if that was physically possible. Meanwhile, Nightfall streaked forward with deliberate intent. His ship glided between Dominion vessels with elegant recklessness, its hull shimmering in patterns that defied natural physics. Then, in a moment that made every human officer choke on their own fear, Nightfall transmitted a message directly to Rowan's bridge. Going for the flagship. Try not to let the rest explode while I am gone. Rowan stared at the comm, torn between awe and the desire to scream into a pillow. If he boarded the Dominion flagship alone, the outcome would be either legendary or catastrophically idiotic. Her officers exchanged expressions that ranged from admiration to complete despair. Before anyone could object, Nightfall vanished again, accelerating toward the Dominion flagship so quickly that sensors briefly labeled him an incoming celestial event. Inside the alien flagship, confusion reached theatrical levels. Nightfall slipped through their shields using an energy fluctuation no one understood. He crashed into a maintenance corridor, emerging from the smoke coughing dramatically, wearing what he insisted was a perfect disguise. To the aliens, however, he looked like a human wrapped in a stolen custodial jacket 3 sizes too big. When a startled Vrax guard demanded identification, Nightfall responded in broken Vrax dialect that translated roughly to "I am official mop person here to do the cleaning." The guard blinked twice before lunging. Nightfall sighed and disarmed him with embarrassing ease, apologizing mid-throw as he sent the alien crashing into a bulkhead. Chaos engulfed the corridor. More guards arrived. Alarms shrieked. Nightfall weaved through them in a dance equal parts precise combat and unfortunate slapstick, leaving a trail of unconscious warriors and a mysteriously exploding cleaning cart. But the true shift came deeper within the ship. Locked behind a psychic seal, a dormant presence stirred. The Vrax Queen, ancient ruler of their hive mind, awakened prematurely. Her mental cry rippled through the fleet, shaking ships and minds alike. Rowan felt the disturbance even from afar. Something powerful had entered the fight. Something far more dangerous than any commander or warship. And Nightfall was now trapped inside the source of it.